Man, BTS is making me busy and I love it. Absolutely. So RM and V, right after they got discharged from the military, came to HYBE building and then did a Weverse live for the first time in a very long time. And I love the fact that the title of this video, Weverse live, is 잘 다녀왔습니다, meaning we're back. Because, a year and a half ago, when they did Weverse live with Jimin and Jungkook together, it was 잘 다녀오겠습니다. We'll be back, right? When was it? December 5th, 2023. Man. So they did a Weverse live for over 30 minutes. They were eating. Jin also showed up, had a conversation, talked about a lot of things. They shared a lot of emotions, thoughts, and reflections they had in the military. So I'm not going to do a full translation, of course. There were subtitles during the Weverse live, during the live. I think it will take some time before they do the subtitles embedded in the video, so we'll have to see. But I'm just going to point out a few things that I thought were pretty interesting and notable. And as always, I'll provide some context that I can explain, or the things that I thought were pretty thoughtful and and insightful. All right, so first of all, 1 minute 4 second mark. That's when they shared their reflections. So first of all, RM said after completing 548 days of military service, RM returned with a hoarse voice. From a cold. He said that he never got a cold throughout his service except this time. And mixed emotions, because he said he stood disciplined during his final leave, meaning he really worked on being on diet and being in shape so that he could look good before the armies, for the fans. But then he got emotional talking with his juniors the night before and ended up crying late at night. He said he talked with the unit members until 2 a.m. and then when he went to bed, he all of a sudden started crying. That's why his face looked puffy this morning and today. And he felt it was a bit unfair because he really worked hard. Remember the Instagram story that he shared recently, how he was working out in a gym? But he said that he's ready to bounce back once they start working on content and filming. So today was filled with deep, complex feelings for RM. Joyful, but also, at the same time, overwhelming. All right, and then V said 2 minute 38 second mark. He spent a lot of time having meaningful conversations with younger soldiers about their dreams, 꿈. And, living together for a year and a half made him truly supportive of them, even wanting to help however he could. That constant closeness, waking up and going to bed with the same people in a barrack really made it a unique and deeply personal experience for V. All right, 3 minute 27 second mark. This was pretty funny. RM said, RM shares that what felt most unfair, 억울했던 거, most unfair was how military life really mirrored his trainee days, living with many people and starting over from scratch. Remember, RM was the very first BTS member that joined Big Hit, and according to him, at one point, he lived with 30 trainees in a tiny dorm. So this was the 논현동 building, the building in 논현동 that Big Hit had or rented. And then this was a dorm that BTS member used to live. And RM used to live with 30 trainees. And then, living with many people and starting over from scratch, military made him feel like. So after years, after years of not being scolded, suddenly getting yelled at in the military was a jarring but humbling experience. So this was what he actually said. 혼나본 적이 없었다. So before enlisting, I went through 5 or 6 years without really ever being scolded. The only nagging I would hear was from my mom, like eating more veggies, be careful about those cars, When are you going to get your license? Stuff like that. Because we don't really have people in our lives who scold us anymore, right? But the moment I got to the military, I got yelled at a lot. And that in itself was a new experience for me. It really felt like I had to strip everything down and start over. And I mentioned this in front of the reporters earlier too, but I got really close with the other guys who had already completed their service. Older friends, and especially my dad. He served for 30 months. He told me a lot of stories. I feel like I now understand that thing only people who had been through the military can get. And honestly, I kept thinking about Hosok and Jin Hyung the most. Not everything was fun or enjoyable because the military is not that kind of place, but after getting through it, what really hit me was everyone goes through this. Everyone made it through. He also thought, we're people who had been active, having fun out in the world, and then there were people spending a chunk of their youth in a place like this. So it gave me time to reflect on a side of life I had never seriously thought about before. And I really felt that, because when you first join the military, you don't know what the heck is going on, right? So you really feel awkward, act awkwardly, and then all of a sudden you get scolded and yelled at by officers and by those who help you train. And especially for celebrities and artists who are used to their own system, which is completely different from the type of system that military has. And I especially empathize with RM because I told you I spent a good amount of time in the US. And I was a very good student. Just like RM said, I barely got scolded when I was super young. But as soon as I did a basic training in the military, I got yelled at immediately because I don't know what is going on. So I really felt that, which is probably why J-Hope shared this Instagram story live just now. And then RM said, start kicking balloons. 야이씨 끝났다. He said, finally I'm done. Yeah, so I really feel that. So that was pretty funny. Also reflected. How about V? 9-minute 41-second mark. Yeah. So they reflected that despite the hardships, the most rewarding part of their service was meeting new people and sharing real unforgettable moments. And V said, even though there were tough moments during my military service, honestly, the best part was meeting so many new people. Hearing all kinds of life stories, sharing conversations I never would have had otherwise, and making memories I had never experienced before. Stuff like that really stays with you. And then they joked, they laughed about how military stories often sound too bizarre to be true. For example, RM said that some of his people that he spent time with got bitten by a snake or eating a cactus and choking on the spines, but insists that they really happened. So those wild memories, they said, made it all surprisingly fun. Okay. And then 6-minute 32 seconds mark. This was pretty touching. Yeah. V said, V admitted he often wondered if Army would still be there, waiting for them. And during rough moments, he would quietly visit Weverse for comfort. And we have seen how, V indeed visited Weverse and leaving comments here and there, right? RM shared a similar habit, but said he tried to stay under the radar until discharge. Early in his service, he focused on reading and self-growth, but toward the end, he felt a strong urge to start over, like clean slate. So he also talks about, what did he talk about? Oh.
전역하기 전까지는 좀 이렇게 거시기 해야겠다 싶었던 것 같아요. 어느 순간 병장들도 열심히 하다가
Yeah.
엄청 다양한.
So that was what he said, and in the end, he talked about the watch. This watch I'm wearing, I've had it on the entire time. A friend gave it to me when I enlisted. It means a lot. And yeah, this is a type of watch that you would wear in the military because time is really important. It's all about meeting schedules, working according to tight schedules, checking time, and being on time. So I had this when I was a serviceman also. All right, and then Jin joined. 7-minute 39-second mark. This is pretty funny. So Jin made a surprise entrance to congratulate RM and V on their discharge, joking that he's jealous and calling himself as their discharge gift. The three exchanged playful conversations, and they joked that Jin looks tired. And V and RM both acknowledge how hard Jin has worked alone while others were still serving, right? And with 2 more members returning tomorrow, Jin encouraged the group to carry the torch, these guys to carry the torch. And they joked about how much muscle RM and V have gained. And Jin admitting that he will probably lose in a fight now if they start a fight. So it was really lighthearted and heartfelt, brotherly energy all around, which we have really missed. And, the thing about Jin, I have recently uploaded this short, where is it? The Japanese interview that he had in Japan, where he really opened up and being honest. The interviewer asked him, what do you feel about BTS reuniting? And he said even he feels excited and nervous at the same time because he has worked super hard non-stop because he really wanted to work when he was in the military, he said. So he did all kinds of stuff. Remember, 달려라 석진, the entertainment content, Run Jin, and 2 albums that he dropped, and fan events, performing before the fans, high-fiving fans, and hugging fans. And now he's starting to feel like he would appreciate some rest. But with the members coming back, he realizes that those members would also feel like they would love to work again, doing the stuff they love. And he will have to join them, which is why he feels excited but also nervous at the same time. So I really hope that he takes care of himself, both physically and mentally. I would like to express my admiration and respect for Jin. And these guys know it. RMMV really expressed that respect for Jin, even though they joked that his eyes look sunken and feel tired. Yep. And 10-minute 11-second mark, that was pretty touching. RM said, 300번, 300 times. I must have imagined turning on this Weverse Live, more than 300 times. Yeah, that just shows how much he missed armies. 10 minutes, 17 seconds mark. That was interesting, where V said how his personality, or MBTI, changed. So MBTI is a super popular personality test in Korea. This is a picture of V getting jacked. For some reason, MBTI got super popular as starting at some point in Korea. I've never done the personality test MBTI, but everybody knows what kinds of MBTI they have. And V said that his MBTI changed from ENFP to ENTP after his military service. And he said he just can't handle overly cute behavior anymore. Likely because of all the tough training, like rough environment that he was in. And he emphasized over and over again, I've seriously become more logical. And adding that his ability to empathize seems to have dropped. And here, RM joked that the military probably changed him. He replied, yes, it turned me into a weapon. Murderous weapon. And so they laughed. And then RM asked him a question. So you're done with jazz now? Saying how jazz is emotional, sentimental music. And V said he's not quite done yet, but jazz is for winter. But other seasons, maybe there's something else waiting for the fans. RM suggested maybe pop, and he kind of agreed. So we'll have to see. But it's just funny how he emphasizes a totally logical and rational person now. But RM predicted that V will probably soften back up in a month, especially after watching some emotional movies. And this is how Army translated that part. My MBTI was ENFP or INFP, but I am ENTP now. Why? Are you T? Not Tia? So not Tia. That's a very famous saying in Korea that you would say if you come across somebody who is not that good at sympathizing or empathizing with somebody's emotions. Like, why are you a T? Why are you so like rational? you know? And V said, I really can't stand people with childish behavior now. 어리광, which means those with immature, childish behavior, deliberately acting like a child to win favor. So that was funny. All right, 13-minute mark. Oh, here, RM emphasized once again how much he missed during doing live. He shared that he imagined turning on live more than 5,000 times during his service, usually while lying face down on his barracks locker. 관물대. So this is what 관물대 looks like. Murderous weapon. But it will probably last a month. Sorry. Ooh. Alright. So this is what 관물대 looks like. That's the military style locker, super old fashioned. And nowadays, military dorms got more modernized and got better. But it seems like based on the photo that RM took with a rapper, Korean rapper, Changmo, it seems like he lived in a very old-fashioned military barracks dorm. And he probably lived in this type of environment where he sleeps on the floor with a mattress, and then his face would sometimes be placed, your head will be placed under the locker. That's what he said. He imagined turning on Weverse Live more than 5,000 times during his service, usually while lying face down on his barracks under the locker. So now that he's finally out, it's surreal to actually be doing it, he shared. So it's been a year and a half since their last live, and V admitted that he's not quite sure what to say anymore. Because before there were clear boundaries to what he could talk about, but now those had been lifted, or he doesn't have a sense of what he can say and what he shouldn't say, which is why they're trying to stay careful. And I respect that. Because they reflected on like living with about 20 Gen Z soldiers, Gen Z guys, and sharing how their daily routines, like sleeping on the floor and doing roll call together, help them, keep up with trends. Like they often found themselves entertained and baffled by Gen Z's antics, joking that half the time they didn't even understand what they were doing. But it was hilarious to watch, they said. And yeah, that's an experience that you would get to have only if you join the military. Spending like 24 hours with much younger guys, especially if you join the military late in your life. All right, 17-minute mark. That's when they reminisce about the basic training they had together. RM reminisce about entering Nonsan, place where you have basic training, military, with Taeyong while getting drenched in the rain, noting how the place had that distinct old smell. And during their service, RM ended up spending 2 New Year's Day in uniform. I mean, they both did. First, while shoveling snow in basic training, and the second, while working at a temple. He's a Buddhist, right? So Buddhist temple, helping with the bell ringing ceremony, making dumplings, washing dishes, and serving food, almost like a part-time job. And he reflected on how going through 2 calendar years made the whole experience feel long, even though technically they served one of the shortest military terms in history. Remember, his dad served 30 months. It used to be much longer, but now it got shortened to a year and a half for soldiers. For officers, it's 3 years, but for regular soldiers, a year and a half. And what really stuck with him was how many people kept saying, why does it feel like you were in there forever? That's what his friends and family said, which he chose to interpret as a sign that people were really waiting for him. But V said that the most frustrating comment he heard was, "You're out already? 벌써 전역했어?" As if all the time and effort could be dismissed that easily, and people joke that, especially as you come out of base, out of your military base, with all the vacations you have available at the end of your military career, right? 18 minutes, 7-second mark. That's when they show the letters that TXT members wrote for them, right here. Why does it look like? Oh, sorry. Right here. Yeah, so they shared that the TXT members sent them flowers along with the heartfelt roll letters, roll paper, which deeply moved them. They emphasized how meaningful it was, especially coming from fellow artists within the same big hit family. And RM commented on Love Language, which is the latest track that TXT dropped. Super addictive. Go check it out if you haven't already. And he acknowledged, they acknowledged the emotional impact of the gesture, the flowers and the letters. He also added, that if you work out, if you set your workout playlist algorithm to K-pop, TXT songs like Love Language seem to pop up all the time. And then 19 minutes and 9-second mark. Yeah. Here, RM reflected on how long a year and a half truly felt. And V started his service at 29 and is now 31, he said. And they expressed deep gratitude to Army for their patience and loyalty. They acknowledged how rare and meaningful it is for fans to wait without any new content or appearances, and said that it was amazing to be welcomed back so warmly. They also noted that the crowd gathered around HYBE building, and they asked fans to be mindful of safety and follow directions from security team. And they also mentioned how touched they felt to hear that fans had come from many countries. And V was wondering where are they gonna stay? Being I guess the rational person that he is, he wondered about the logistics. And RM said there are all kinds of platforms and websites you can use to book like lodgings and stuff. But yes, there are a lot of people seem to be gathering around HYBE building. So I hope they have a really fun time, great time together. But at the same time, I hope they stay safe, because Korea had a very traumatic experience a few years ago with the Itaewon crisis, right? So being overcrowded, people realize is a really dangerous thing. So I hope really they, the armies gathering in Seoul, especially in Yongsan, stay safe. So, all right, what else? 21 minutes, 25 seconds mark. Here, V shared among the original 4 members in the batch, only 3 completed their service, as 1 had to leave early due to a serious injury, and all 3 who finished were recognized as special warriors, 특급 전사. And indeed, we have already known that V became a special warrior, being good at both like training, shooting, and running, right? So that's an honor that you get, V got. But RM explained that he didn't get a fair shot, like literally, at earning the title, especially since he wasn't given many opportunities for marksmanship training, so shooting. And he recalled how V also struggled during basic training until they realized the problem was with rifle zeroing. So they talked about, like, especially V talked about those technical stuff, like shooting from 250 meters. Shooting from 250 meters without proper aim calibration was no small feat. But then V said, let's stop talking about these stuff, military stuff, right? Because him assuming that armies would not enjoy them talking about military stuff, right? And he joked that he might even wake up tomorrow thinking he's still in the military. And let me tell you, for guys who just got discharged from the military, dreaming about your military life is the worst nightmare that you can have. All right, 23 minutes, 20-second mark.
여러 가지 계획을 해놨어요.
Oh, this was cool. So RM shared that BTS already has plans in motion, but it may take some time before fans see the results. He said, "We already have a few plans in place. I don't know if we'll be able to show results right away, but we have got a roadmap. And if you can wait just a little longer, but they realize that if we've been gone for quite some time, because their long absence, like nearly 3 years since their last concert in Busan, yet to come." But he revealed that he hadn't written any lyrics or music during his service, which was kind of surprising. Only journaling to process his thoughts, writing daily journals. It was the longest creative pause of his life, RM said, and he admitted that whenever he tried to write like lyrics, only negative thoughts came out. And that's not surprising. I mean, God knows what really played out in his life, but I can at least guess 2 negative things that happened. One within the company and one within the nation, Korean nation. But yeah, it was quite notable when he said that only negative thoughts came out, so he couldn't really write lyrics. But now, after some rest, he says he feels recharged, or he will feel recharged and ready to create again. Still, they're readjusting to civilian life and want to reconnect with the world before fully jumping in. It was notable when RM said, 지금이 어느 시대인지, 지금 시대가 어떤 시대인지 잘 모르겠어서, meaning having there's a lot I want to say. So V asked, "Did you write down what you wanted to say in a memo or in a journal?" He said, "There's a lot I want to say, but I don't know what exactly. I'm still figuring out what this era is even like, what this society, what this era is even like. Having lived as a soldier for so long, there's naturally a sense of disconnection from society, from everything. So now I'm going to take some time, re-immerse myself in the world, and then do my best, step by step," he said. So promising that, when they do return into shape, it will be with something worth sharing. 25 minutes, 5-second mark. This was cute. Here, V confessed that in the lead up to discharge, he completely cut out carbohydrates, carbs, and pushed himself to work out harder because he wanted to look good for armies. In fact, this morning he woke up at 9 a.m. for solo workouts, all to reduce swelling and puffiness and look his best for army. He even exercised in a winter parka jacket to sweat more. It was all about wanting to present his best self to fans after such a long time apart. And RM commented, "You're such a pro." And RM complained, he stayed composed and disciplined throughout his service. Remember, he worked out really hard, but the moment finally caught up to him this morning, and he ended up in tears, quietly crying on his bed at 2 a.m. So, and then we're almost there, 26 minutes, 4-second mark. Here, RM shared that the thing he missed most wasn't a vacation. So V asked a question. Other than music, was there anything you wanted to do once you were discharged? Like traveling? And RM said that he would love to travel, but what he wanted the most was simply turning on a live and chatting freely. So his plan, in fact, he said he's planning to go live again later tonight. After seeing his family, so I'm quite excited about that. And he's been hitting the gym hard, running, stair climbing, so he would do that later in this afternoon. And V said he considered dancing this afternoon, but the early wake up and all the prep left him too sleepy, so he would take a nap. So that was a funny detail. 28 minutes 45-second mark. So they started reading comments, user comments, and somebody said, "You deserve to rest. 당신은 휴식을 취할 자격이 있습니다." But RM said, "That's true, but we've been away for a year and a half, so now it's time to get back to work." Such a pro, right? Professionalism right there. And then 29 minutes, 9 seconds, that's when RM spoke English for the first time in a very long time.
Anyways, thank you for patiently waiting, and we're gonna straight up run things again, and we'll be back for, so much better things.
Yes. Did you hear that, guys? Anyways, thank you patiently. Thank you for patiently waiting, and we're gonna straight up run things again, and we'll be back for so much better things, so much good things. So I'm excited. All right, 29 minutes 30 seconds mark. Oh, like right here, they talked about like their fitness. So first of all, V opened up about missing his fellow soldiers the most. Like, despite the stress, it was the people who made his service meaningful. So literally he said, "What I miss most are the people, the guys. People stressed me out, but they also made everything worth it. And now I just miss them." So he recalled the energy of his workout focused units. They were all passionate about working out and crazy about working out, and how that intensity motivated him daily. And both he and RM shared how much weight they gained and lost during service, and how their views on body image like shifted and stuff. V mentioned like bulking up to 78 kilos from 61 kilos, and RM peaked at 83 kilos. And that reminded me of this Weverse Live that they did before they got enlisted, December 5th, 2023. V talking about how he's currently 62 kilos. And these guys are saying, "You're so thin." And V said he would like to bulk up to 86 kilos. How he would eat like 3 meals a day and work out. Well, RM said that that's not going to happen. Armies, I would stop him from doing that. Jungkook also talked about similar things, and both of these guys got really jacked in the military, right? This was what he used to look like, V, and on the right, and then now he looks like this. So fascinating. Yeah, V also proudly shared that he learned. RM shared that he learned the sax during his service, and he's super proud of that about that, and he hopes to use it in future concerts. Yeah, so I think I wonder how RM's gonna utilize his sax skills, and whether he's going to use the sax skills on the upcoming album. We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure they will do some sort of stuff with sax. RM will do some sort of stuff in sax in the future, because that's a valuable skill that you gain. Okay. Last but not least, one more thing. 32 minutes 38 mark. 32 minutes 38 seconds mark. That's when they started delivering the farewell message. So yeah, the live neared its end, and they reminded everyone that this was their first live in a year and a half, and that they weren't sure what to say just yet. Especially V. V was asking the staff members whether there's anything else that they should be talking about, because he wanted to provide more for the armies. But RM said that's okay, because it's been a long time since the last time they did this. The point was simply to reconnect and let Army know that they're doing well, right? So they acknowledged that fans might have expected more, but even small like personal stories matter. And before they wrapped up, they once again expressed how deeply they missed everyone. And Jimin and Jungkook will be back tomorrow, right? So that's something that the members are excited about, and we are also excited about. And then, last but not least, they said, "Thank you for waiting, and we really missed you." Right? All right, so that was overall a fantastic Weverse live. Hopefully, they will provide translations, subtitles. And then V shared an Instagram story a couple hours ago, looking great, and this was really hilarious video that J-Hope shared. And then armies are excited as well. So, good stuff. I hope this video was informative, and yeah, let's see if RM will indeed turn on his live later tonight. If so, if I have time, I'll check it out as well. See you again. Peace and love. Bye-bye.